Okay, let's take a look at what's trending here. Since Christopher Pohlhaus, Nazi blood tribe leader, terrorized Florida yesterday, here's a compilation of him complaining about his wife banging everyone in sight while he does nothing but cry about it. Oh my god, goose-stepping Ubermensch Christopher Pohlhaus is weeping Nazi tears because his wife keeps banging other men. How freaking sad can you be? I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what all this goose stepping bullshit is about with guys like him. It's good that people are finding out, though, watching this crap. Here's a guy whose own wife doesn't want anything to do with him. Is it any surprise that guys like this have wives, if they're lucky enough to get wives, who just can't wait to step out and bang anybody else but them? And that's probably what all of this goose stepping, SS tattooing, tough guy Nazi, I hate minorities, I hate gays bullshit is all about. It isn't about any cause, it isn't about anything that means anything. It's a masculine statement to them. These people were not raised right, and they never learned right. That much is obvious. How dumb could you be anyway? To try to elicit sympathy from people by crying about how your wife has left you, or your wife is going around banging all these other dudes. And you're doing this in between trips to Disneyland so you can cover your face and you can carry Nazi pride flags and you can talk all this shit about how you want to eradicate people that you deem beneath you. This dude seems pretty fucking low, if you ask me. And now we know all the reasons. Is he listening to Bob Marley while crying persecuted white guy crocodile tears? Pure gold. Yeah, there should be nothing intimidating about Blubbercuck and his pajama Nazis. I wonder if some brave gal is pretending to be a partner just to make him feel bad because he's a Nazi. She's the toxic one, that's pretty rich. He had to cry in his car because he got kicked out of the gym. Surprised he's taking time away from the Nazi compound he's building in Maine. Ha ha ha! He got kicked out of Planet Fitness. I hate to laugh, but dang. Oh shit. Democrats think prison will stop Trump, but after he wins and pardons himself, you'll have this to deal with. No, we won't. Tim Pool, you pathetic little balding sad excuse for a goddamn man. This is absolutely not what Trump looks like. Holy crap. You might as well superimpose his head onto an image of Gandalf the Grey, casting spells. This is no different than that at all. He does not look like this. He does not have tattoos. You're turning him into your version of masculinity. You're turning him into what turns you on, Tim Pool. We're getting pretty fucking sick of all of your closeted homoerotic fantasies. You and the rest of your ilk. All joking aside, these MAGA cultists are so deep into this shit right now that there's really no saving them. No amount of deprogramming will work. Absolutely. I said it before about 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying it. They're that nasty, misbehaving little dog that you've just got to bop on the nose and say no and instill some real consequences. And of course, we are not the right. We would never violate human rights or just throw somebody in a dank cell to rot. They would do all those things to people. Normal, sane human beings don't do those things. There's plenty you can do to these people that will get the point across. Whether they understand it or not, they can live their entire rest of their lives not understanding. That's to be expected because they don't get it now. They are so far off the mark, they may never get it. And that's fine. What else can you do? What else do you do with the bad little puppy or the special needs individual that is never going to learn any better? The adults have to come forward. The adults have to stand up. The adults have to put their foot down and say, no, this is not what's going to happen. This is not how it works. You can believe anything you want to believe. We are going to do the thinking. Ooh, cute. This is what Democrats fear. Sorry, Timmy, we're not afraid of the homoerotic fantasies of Republican men. Dude, just come out of the closet already. $100 says those MAGA alpha males have spent some special time alone with these pictures. Yeah, exactly. Again, it's, knowing better, knowing more. They don't realize it, but we already do. Part of what we're fighting for is a world where people don't have to stay stuffed in the closet. Just come out of the closet, Tim Pool. You'll feel a lot better. There's no shame in it. And they don't get it. They don't see it. They don't read it. You come across so gung-ho, anti-LGBTQ, and anti-gay, anti-minority, anti-everything but this picture-perfect image you have in your mind of the alpha male. You don't know what it takes to be anything close to a great man. You don't know what it, you can't even be just a man. We know what all this hatred of gays is about. We know it every time you post these homoerotic photos. We know you don't get it. We already have it pegged. Pardon the pun. Kareem Abdul the car. Sentencing is scheduled for Tuesday in the J6 case of Enrique Tarrio. I thought he was sentenced. I thought he was in prison already. Ha ha ha! My sentiments exactly. Ironic that the guy who was hell bent on destroying everybody's freedom is losing his freedom. When will they arrest the FBI and CIA insurrectionists? Yeah, they all still think that all of these pictures of Nazi Proud Boys making taking expert care to cover their identities are just FBI. Because that's what your FBI does. That's what your tax dollars pay for. Mulder and Scully don't actually have that higher education. They didn't work half their lives to reach the positions that they're in as FBI agents who've underwent the most rigorous training, like cops with education and intelligence. That FBI, no, no, this is what they do. They spend their days misspelling signs and matching khaki pants to each other and tucking in their shirts and renting U-Hauls and making good care, making very, very sure that nobody can identify them, because then they might have happened to them what happened to the tiki torch motherfuckers some years back. They may lose their jobs at Skeeter's Landscaping. They may lose their basement space in mom's house. Or their wives might just divorce them on top of continuing to bang other men. Truth Social was around $175 a share. Now it's $14 per share. It may have to close now. Say it with me, please. Everything Trump touches dies. We knew this was going to happen. It's all, his entire life is just short-term grifts. Does this surprise you at all? Aww. Yeah, this is the real Antifa. Imagine backing the person who led your daughter to her death and making threats against the person who investigated that. This is one sick and disturbed individual. Yeah. And that's the reason we have sick and disturbed people like Ashley Babbitt. Ooh, UNC student paper's gut-wrenching cover goes viral. Yeah, I saw that shit. They covered their paper with excerpts of all the texts from the students who thought that they weren't going to be going home that day. And they'll say, well, just keep voting Republicans, keep voting these people in. It's obvious the people who vote for garbage are not smart enough or human enough to care either way. Again, these people are like a special child or a misbehaving animal. You can't argue with them. You can't reason with them. There is no equal give and take. You can't have a simple discussion. You can't work together to come to a solution because they don't care about solutions. They don't even understand the problem. They don't care about the problem. The adults have to step forward. The adults have to take control and just plain stomp this out. Put an end to this shit. Somehow these Nazi fucks can breathe through these masks. Yeah, DeSantis supporters only wear masks on certain occasions. But they're all feds, haven't you heard? Own it. Fucking own it. These people want to talk out of both sides of their mouths. Are you in support of these people, or are you going to disavow yourself of these people and what they represent? Do not try to have your cake and eat it too by stating that this doesn't exist at all. This is just a government psyop. This is just like something going on in our lives that's like something in a Hollywood movie. You're not that special. This isn't a Hollywood movie. This is reality. What you're seeing is what it is. These are proud, unabashed, well, not totally proud. They're making sure to hide their identities. Neo-Nazis hanging out in Florida. And there's a reason they're choosing Florida. They're choosing Florida because DeSantis speaks to them. And their disgusting, reprehensible beliefs. He's just as batshit crazy and fucking stupid as they are. Don't look at it and pretend it's something else. Don't say those aren't Nazis. Those are FBI. Those are government agents. When you try to say that they're not Nazis, what you're really saying is, I don't want to believe that these people are on our side. It looks really, really bad. So it's not what you think. It's the other side. It's somebody else. No, motherfucker, that's you. That's your side. That's who votes for the same guy you vote for. That's what you stand for. That's what you're supporting. And if that's really how you feel, fucking own it. Just own it. You're all about freedom, right? You're all about your freedom of speech. You're all about doing whatever the fuck you want to do. You're all about trampling all over everybody's rights. Because Jesus, because your religion, because your way. then have some fucking balls, have some dignity, have some integrity, and just own it. We already know who you are. We already know what you're about. We already know what you believe in. We already know what you support, what you advocate for. Don't be a fucking pussy. Don't back out now. Don't pretend it's something else. Don't pretend it's not happening. Don't pretend these people are not on your side. Fucking own it. And we already know why they're hiding their identities. All those tiki torch bastards lost their jobs in mommy's basement faster than they could say Heil Hitler. That's what the masks are about. No, it's not Antifa. No, it's not BLM. No, it's not the FBI. No, it's not paid performers. No, it's not people Biden sent over. That's you. That's the people who vote for your people. That's the people who vote the same way you do, who support the same idiots you do. They're wearing the fucking mask because they don't want to get kicked out of mom's basement. They don't want to lose their jobs at Skeeter's Landscaping. They don't want to lose their jobs at Burger King. They don't want their wives to go ahead and bang other dudes. Like Blubbercu over there, who is most assuredly using this affiliation as one of the blood tribe members of a very fearsome and threatening group because it's a masculine statement. Because his wife is out banging other guys. Because no other woman will fuck him. Little misbehaving animals. Special people. That's what this is about. You got Proud Boys whining and crying in court when they're getting sentenced. And now they're complaining that they don't like the food in prison. And Marjorie Toe Jam Green and all these other GOP sycophants are all going, oh, it is horrible. These are political prisoners and they're being underfed and the conditions in prison are horrible. Prisons didn't show up once your people went to prison. Prisons have been around in this country for quite a while. This nation locks up more of its citizens than fucking China. Where was your concern when the guy was eaten away by bed bugs sitting in a cell with diarrhea wallpaper just a few months ago? You didn't give a fuck about him. You don't give a fuck about anybody else who's sitting in prison. People that are actually innocent, people that are still rotting away for years on minor drug charges. There's a lot of inequality and a lot of failed justice in this nation. And you have the balls, the absolute unmitigated audacity to look at insurrectionists and neo-Nazi terrorists, grifters and snake oil salesmen, and poor, pathetic, insecure little boys, and call them heroes, and bring up all of these societal ills on their behalf. You're a special person. You have a problem. You are not at the level. You're just not with it. None of you are. And It's way past time for the adults in this country to shut the music off, cut off the fucking party before more people get hurt, and put our foot down and put these people in their place. They do not belong in public office. They do not belong on the streets. They don't belong, a lot of them, mixing with normal society. Many of them need to be in hospitals. Many of them need restrictions. They don't belong in our public offices. They do not belong in our schools. They do not belong around other people. They do not belong around children. It's time to cut the horse shit. They had their little moment. And it's ripping this country apart at the seams. Time to stop it all. Is this thing working? Sorry, these are new phones, and they have an attached mic. Okay, there we go. I don't want to look at underwear. Oh yeah, this guy. Jimmy Buffett taught Americans to hate their jobs and live for nights and weekends so they could stuff themselves with food and alcohol. But pride in work is what gives Americans purpose and explains our success. This absolute idiot. Jimmy Buffett was absolutely for the working man. That's what most of his music was designed for. He sang songs about getting off of a long day at work and having a drink. He sang songs about traffic on I-95. Yeah. No, I'm not married. Decency has chased Richard his entire life, but he's faster. Let's be fair, a lot of people would be angry if they had to go through life like this. Wow, before Jimmy Buffett, everybody hated the weekend because they couldn't work. Who knew? Were you born an asshole? And you worked at it your whole life. Either way, it worked out fine. No, I shout because my name is Erupting Chick. I discuss politics. Oh, God, it looks like I angered another little incel. I wonder what that says about angry fucking guys who like to shout at women. Like Blubberfuck over here. How much you want to bet he paid for a couple of his... Yeah, I had you at porno thing. Yeah, Richard Hanania. You know, he's like MTG. Oh, God! Look, once and for all, Tim Pool, Democrats do not fear your closeted homosexuality. Oh, you don't say. Whoops. Yeah, totally. They all just suck, huh? Trump is running to keep millions of dollars rolling in to pardon himself to get immunity while in office and get revenge on his enemies. You know, I'm getting really sick of seeing Trump's tweets too. I mean, at first it was funny to see him so goddamn scared. Now it's just getting sad. Pretending to be Nazis with masks on your faces is easy. Ask them to join the army and they'll shit their pants. Yep. Yeah, I'll shout. I'll shout as loud as I fucking want. Here's how men and women are different. You shout orders, I tell you you're full of shit. Oh, I remember getting fucked against a wall once. And I'm still here, sitting on Twitch. Okay, let's see what we got here. How do you salute a dead Nazi in America? You don't. We fought and killed Nazis. Okay, this is a joke. Hell if I know. I'm for America. These are traitors. Novel idea. Reinstate the draft, but with the feature of serving the country in the military or civil service. Now, that's one way we can put an end to their little pity party. Jim Hagman, PhD. I like that idea. I think Korea does it. I'm not sure if Japan does it. I know South Korea does it. I think Sweden does it. Um, Finland, I think, might do it. I'd have to look it up. But they require at least 2 years of military service from all these dudes. Yeah, they would shit their pants. That's why we should do it. The reply is about how pretending to be Nazis with masks on, a failed coup without consequences, becomes a training exercise. I bet they see this shit as a training exercise. How powerful are you if you're too fucking pussy to take off the mask? How powerful is it when you don't want to come out and fucking own what you're doing? You're totally fine doing it, but only if nobody can see your face. Fucking take off the goddamn mask. They sit there, they put together their outfits like a couple of little girls preparing for a recital after school. They wouldn't make it through the first week of boot camp. Aren't they tough? So proud of their actions, they've completely concealed their identity. Well, they don't want to lose their job at Skeeter's Landscaping. They don't want to lose their jobs at Skeeter's Landscaping and the local Burger King, and they don't want mom to kick them out of the basement. And like Blubbercuck over here, they don't want their wives to divorce them. Aw, you're gone already? Little pussy. Republican cosplayers. I bet there's a fair number of ex-military like myself looking at this with disbelief. There's a fair number of ex-military that can destroy all these guys by themselves. I bet a fair number of them are political Republican cosplayers. Republican cosplayers. Jesus. You had me at porno thing. What's this? Ew! God, don't fucking keep scaring me with this shit. Like I said, with that goddamn pic of Trump at his arrest, don't fucking send me unsolicited dick pics. Joe Biggs, the Proud Boy who was sobbing after being sentenced to 17 years in prison for storming the Capitol on January 6th, was complaining to Alex Jones that the food in prison is horrible. You can't eat the food here. Watch, now there'll be prison reform. Well, you know, what do they say? Even a clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day. Maybe they'll manage to enact some form of real form of prison reform. And it won't just be for the white guys either. I don't know if I can play the Jimmy Buffett song. I've been singing it all day. Oh my God. I don't know. I didn't know they could do dildos. Barbies. Icy is here. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the last day for ice cream trucks. I just want to make sure I have this right. A white man walked into a Jacksonville, Florida Dollar General with racially motivated manifestos and murdered three black Americans. Ron DeSantis then showed up to the public vigil, offering his thoughts and prayers with no planned action. Yesterday, a decent sized group of Nazis formed outside Disneyland waving their white power flags. And right wing pundits have the audacity to say that's the feds, referencing the white supremacist demonstrations. Was the Dollar General shooter a Fed too? Seems the hate groups are very real in Florida, while Ron DeSantis hasn't publicly denounced the event either. It's almost like Ron approves of indoctrinating children as their parents drive past the entrance to Disney. They don't want to admit they're Nazis, but we all know they are. You people need to stop feigning ignorance. Stop pretending you don't know what this is about. Stop pretending that you don't understand what the deal is here. The only reason they're in Florida, the only reason is because that is the only state that will put up with them there. You don't want to come to my state and pull that shit outside an amusement park. I do love that though. Starling. Proud Boys are complaining about food in prison. Not as good as mommy's food, one said, adding, they won't even do the airplane sound when they feed us. The loser refuses to share his junk food. Yeah, he's going to pay all their legal bills too. They're still crying over that. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going on a little break, but I think we'll check out Reddit when I come back.
The break revealing everyone there. She goes for the full box up, but the fight.
Were you born an asshole, or did you work at it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole for life. You're an ASSHOLE, and don't you try to blame it on me. Okay, now I want to go over to Reddit. Whoops. Jeez. Okay. Fucking Reddit. My uncle died from cancer last week. He worked for Freedom Mortgage and they denied him medical leave when the man was dying. All week they've been calling and FedExing him letters threatening his job because he hasn't been showing up to work. Because he's dead. Yes! The fact that Nazis can walk through Florida without concern for their safety, while trans people have to flee the state, should tell you everything you need to know about today's Republican Party. Like I said, that's why they're walking through Florida without concern for their safety. Because the schmuckus and the rest of the GOP neo-Nazi fuckwads allow them to do that. Elect a clown, expect a circus. What should we expect if you elect a Nazi? Maybe a Holocaust, which is really not all that far away if you consider the fact that eliminating trans care was one of the early German Nazi Party's missions. Once they accomplished that, it was then quickly suppressed. And that's something that they won't tell you in school. Something they won't tell you in school is that all those books that the Nazis like to burn, they had all of these bonfire book burnings. Those were scientific journals
and books written for and by LGBTQ people. They were books on human sexuality, books on identity, books on ideas and concepts written by and for people that were not of the Aryan race. You'll see book burnings in movies. Actually, I think I've seen and learned more about Nazi book burnings by watching Indiana Jones movies rather than the shit that they tell you in school. Because they don't tell you much of anything in school. Everything is just the bare bones education. They touch on subjects and then they quickly move along. Most Germans in the 40s weren't evil or even Nazis. They just didn't care, or cared only about their immediate concerns. That is the banality of evil. And 40% of Americans don't participate in democracy with the same apathy. Really? That's it? 40%? There are two types of evil in the world: conservatives and those that do nothing to stop conservatives. I believe it was, what was it? I believe it was, somebody said it was a German saying that if you have one Nazi sitting at a table and 9 other people join him at that table, you have 10 fucking Nazis sitting at that table. MLK Jr. spoke of the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. By design of the people who want us too broke and tired to fight back. Those just above us in the financial ladder don't have enough of a sense of class consciousness. They would never risk their comfort and security. And that's what I keep fucking saying. That's what I keep fucking saying when Toe Jam Green and, she's a Neanderthal, but Bobo and all these other GOP and right-wing political pundits, they're actually going to sit there and tell people they want a civil war. We want a civil war. It's time for a civil war. Fucking Tim Pool and his bald-ass head and closet homosexuality is saying we need a civil war. They're not coming out to lead the charge. They're not leading anything. They're not going to give up their fucking paychecks, their comfort, their security. None of them are going to be out front marching in front of anybody. You better believe they're going to be sitting pretty behind their microphones while you go out and take care of shit. Host of YouTube parenting channel is charged with child abuse. Ruby Frank, a Utah mother known for chronicling her strict parenting style, was arrested after one of her children ran to a neighbor's house seeking help. I thought Mormons were supposed to be all happy and make crafts out of egg cartons and shit like that. 99% of Republican voters be like, I see the pores are at it again. You're poor! I almost refunded my game when Starfield asked me for pronouns. I still might. I'm annoyed about it. Update, I refunded Starfield. You mean they refunded you, right? I had major issues with the frame rate and also issues where I would talk to an NPC and their mouth wasn't moving, but I could hear the audio. It happened multiple times. I may have let the pronouns thing go if the game was even close to perfect. I thought you hated pronouns. Their mouth didn't move. Yeah, I see what you did there. Oh no, the game asked me for my pronouns, meaning I am absolutely free to pick whichever ones I want. Why are they forcing this woke on me? I stopped playing games back in 2004 when World of Warcraft asked me to pick my gender, if you can believe it. Wait till you play the Pokemon game from '98, asking if you're a boy or a girl. The nerve! Not to be that guy, but you could only be a boy in the first Pokemon games. Gold and Silver introduced the choice, I believe. I'm sure even the small changes would have annoyed this Nina idiot. When the hell did women get money? Around World War One, sir. Yeah, that's an interesting point of argument right there. Or just a point to make. Your protagonists usually only have one body type, too. And I'm sure if you had a chance to generate a character, it ain't gonna look anything like you, is it? I refuse to sign my organ donor card until I get some kind of guarantee that no part of my body will ever be used to keep Tucker Carlson alive. I bet you could do that. Ugh. Yeah, I was talking about this. Months after passing permitless carry, a deadly law that makes it easy for criminals to get guns, the Florida legislature is making taxpayers foot the $61.6 million bill to put bulletproof windows in their workplace. Proud Boys leader calls into Alex Jones to complain about prison food. I know Trump will pardon me. I believe that with all my heart. Oh. He asked people to send money to help support his family, whining that the government took away his military pension as part of his sentence. Well, good. I'll say good on that because, the military is supposed to be fighting like against fascists, like we fought against Nazis and all that other type of horseshit. Now he's gonna whine and cry that they took his money away. It should be illegal to send money to this guy. Someone who's relying on their pension to feed their family doesn't have the money to pay for one of Trump's pardons. I know he'll pardon me. You haven't been paying any attention, have you? Isn't the GQP the ones who tell people to pull them up by the bootstraps? Also, it's funny how they piss and moan about social programs, but the minute they can get one, they turn into a seal at the zoo waiting for fish. Standard hypocrites. Red states always require more social funding than blue ones. I love it when red states go off saying we need to split up and run our own show. Me in New England. Bye, Felicia. If the red states left, they would come back before they left the driveway. It's like a 14-year-old kid running away from home, bags packed and pissed off, and come right back when they get to the driveway. The rich would suffer if that happened. Who's going to do all their cheap labor if minorities are incentivized to leave? No, the white people are the ones who want to leave. And again, absolutely correct. The 14-year-old kid trying to run away from home, because that's what these people are. That's what they are. That's what they're like. They're like the special child or the annoying little brother that keeps insisting on hanging out with you and the rest of the big kids. It's not right for him. He's just not at that level. And it's wrong for mom to insist that you take him along to play with you. Little brother needs his own friends. Little brother needs his own special school. Little brother needs things that, you know, the real adults in the room, the older big kids in the room, just can't give him. And they shouldn't have to give it to him. These people are like petulant children or that misbehaving little animal. Like I said, when they try to get too big for their britches, it's when you've got to bop them on the nose, say no, and remind them of where their place is. We have allowed too many of these freaks to just rip our country apart at the seams, and it's like, that's enough now, you know? And if you right-wing fuckwits don't know what it feels like, remember when you said, I want a haircut and I want a restaurant meal, I want my cheddar jalapeno poppers. So, you know, that's enough with this mask shit. That's enough with this COVID shit. It's like, that's enough now. I want a haircut. Yeah, this is how the vast majority of the nation feels about you and what you're doing to this country. That's enough now. Go the fuck away. You've had your fun. You've had your time. You cannot be trusted. Not in our public offices, not in our schools, not even on the fucking streets. People can't go into Disneyland with their kids without seeing fucking neo-Nazis all over the place. If you have brown skin and talk to a Trump supporter, this is what you'll hear. You're not equal. Crazed white woman caught on camera spewing racial remarks at black postal worker in Missouri. Just want to remind Karen over here and any of you other right-wing fuckwits who are listening and getting really, really angry like that one fuckwit that was here just a few minutes ago. Postal employees are federal employees. when you harass a postal worker, and if you get violent with a postal worker, you can go to prison for that. Not just get arrested on some minor misdemeanor charge. You could go to prison for harming in a government office, a federal office. That's a federal employee. Half of my family worked in the post office. So take it from me. And speaking of right-wing fuckwits, that guy from earlier just had his fucking channel suspended. I've been getting all these little message dings over here. I think maybe he's angry. Apple will launch the iPhone 15 on September 12th. Phone be lagging and overheating out of nowhere. I knew something was going on. Honestly, I had an iPhone once a long time ago. I don't get why you fucking people buy Apple products. Remember when they set up that fake designer shoe store and all these rich fucks went in and they were spending thousands of dollars on cheap ass shoes? Even talking about how they look like they were good quality, just for the jig to be up and people to tell them, guess what? Those are like Payless shoes. We created a fake store to see how fucking greedy people are and how eagerly they will throw their money down the drain for garbage just if they think it's upscale and they think that it's great quality when it isn't. And I wish they would have interviewed these people after the fact. Because, well, you could tell just by looking at their faces, they're like, they felt like complete fucking idiots. I think it's the same with iPhones. I had an iPhone once, couldn't do shit on it. You couldn't do shit on an iPhone unless you were reaching into your goddamn wallet every 5 minutes. Every fucking 5 minutes. Then I went back, I got an Android phone. I can do everything on that phone that I can do right here at home on my computer. I can go to my cartoon site. I can go to my free streaming movie sites. I can look up porn. I can access whatever the fuck I want. I don't have to pay for shit. Just like I sit here at home and I never pay for shit. I don't get why people pay for Netflix and Hulu and all that shit either. I've had a channel for animated shows, like every animated show in existence. I've been on it for like 10 years. Any program I want to binge watch, if it's animated, it's there, perfect quality, no advertisements, because of course I have all the necessary ad blockers. 10 years, a fucking decade I've been using the site. Watching any animated show I want and animated movies. Same for regular movies. It's the same for classic TV shows. Like, I binge watch, like, Golden Girls and The Old Roseanne and Mama's Family and the new Connor show and newer, older, it doesn't matter. There's like 1,000 places you can go online to find it and watch it for free. Even if they're Netflix programs, even if they're Hulu programs, this animated show site that I've been using, I've been catching up on all the new Futuramas. which you could only watch if you pay for it on Hulu. And then I went ahead and I did some binge watching of some old Futurama. So I don't get it. The iPhone couldn't access shit on it without somebody telling you, you gotta pay this, you gotta do that. It's like, no, motherfucker. I don't pay for TV. I don't pay for my movies. I don't pay for my porn. So it's back to Android. And now I can watch all my shows, my movies, and my porn on my phone anytime if I want. Fuck Apple, fuck iPhone. Not doing it. Oh my god, I keep getting dings. I think this shrimp dick over here is getting really, really angry. Alright, I will probably be back with more World War Z tonight after I get some dinner. Or I'll see you on Twitter. I have been getting into all of these horror tweet threads from people going over all the cool fucking horror stuff that I've been watching. So, catch me over there or catch yet another installation of World War Z.